What is happening right now?
I don't know. I just Chapanoid just walks up and it's like, oh, there's Chapanoid. I want to give him a bigger intro. So I wanted to do something like the opening of 2001, but with a cat
I see. That was the vision.
and no
Ironically,
music. There is a planet-looking surface, but still, just the music. I think would have made it more.
ironically, there was someone on YouTube who did say, "Watch the second Doug comes on screen, Chaplin's gonna steal the show," and yeah,
Yeah.
he sure did.
That wasn't
Alexander,
stealing. That was me giving it to him.
the meownolith instead of the monolith. All right,
I
okay, that's
am
clever. That's
Chaplin.
clever. I'll give you
Yeah, it's
that one.
it's like black and white and has whiskers.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Anyway, hi everyone. Happy Wednesday. I don't know why I almost said Thursday. It's definitely Wednesday. Happy
That's
Wednesday,
happened to me.
everyone.
Too. I wonder why that happens sometimes. Everybody's just like, it feels like this kind of day. I'm like, everybody's on the same page with that for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. Welcome to Chatting with Doug, where we get together weekly and ask this guy the questions that are exciting, mundane, weird, movie related. We're just here to chat and ask questions of Doug and the universe, but actually mostly Doug. Welcome. Let me get to the rules so that we can start answering your questions. Speaking of, because I see we already have a level 3 hype train over on Twitch, and the questions are pouring in over on YouTube here. So, yeah. Here we go. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and super chats since they are some real world money spent. Towards the end of streams, sometimes we have time to read regular chat questions or highlighted questions, but I would save that until that time comes because you don't want to repeat yourself over and over again in chat. It's a good way to get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do it. On the YouTube side of things, we prioritize super chats that are $5 and over. We just get a large volume of questions, and this is a good way for us to be able to prioritize and sort through and still be able to get to some of the non-paid questions.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
We try our best, I swear.
I know. I swear we do, Chad. I swear. Also on the YouTube side of things, sometimes you'll see your super chat get unpinned. You don't need to repeat it. There is no need to repeat it. It's just that I have a list. We will get to it. It is very, very rare that we actually miss a question. A lot of times you just need some patience. We can get up to an hour behind, so just have some patience. We will get to it. Please watch the length of your question. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, and the more likely it is that we are going to lose the point and we do not have time to go back and check it out and try to figure out what you were trying to say. So short and to the point is better. That also applies to parts. If you absolutely must break up your message into multiple parts, please keep it to 3 maximum. Again, we just tend to lose the point if you're on part 7 of 12 and we don't have time to figure out what's happening. How does this all connect and whatever? So 3 absolute maximum. Also, please keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat. We have over 100 people here wanting to ask Doug a question. So it just doesn't seem fair if you get 5 in one and other people haven't even gotten one. Okay. So keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat, please. Please no spoilers. Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and greatest. I am still haven't caught up on Last of Us. I've had days and I haven't seen Sunday's episode of Last of Us.
I'm still not caught up on Andor. I think I'm on like 9 or 10, something like that. Yeah, so I'm still catching up on that.
Yeah. So please no spoilers, chat. Okay. I feel like I'm missing something important. Doug,
No
no
swearing?
swearing.
I think we good.
I think we're good. Yeah, I think we are
We're
good.
good.
Great. Fantastic. Let's do it then. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. The reason I enjoy Me, Myself, and Irene more than Bruce Almighty is that, while it has some uneven dramatic moments as well, they feel less cloying, and the humor has more of an R-rated bite to it. Plus, the scenes where Carrie acts unlikable feel more intentional.
Yeah, I don't know. was gonna say I gotta see it again, but man, I really don't remember liking seeing it the first time. But sometimes I'll see a movie and just not catch on to the humor. A lot of Norm Macdonald stuff was like that. I go back and I'm like, oh, now we see what he was trying to do. I get the feeling that's not going to be the case for me, myself, and Irene, but I don't know. Maybe I should give it another shot.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. Can you do the Mandark laugh if he was played by Jeff Goldblum? Be sure to tell Rob, I bet he'd love that crossover.
So I know who Mandark is. I don't know the laugh. I'm assuming it's like a ha 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 ha. Ha. It's like something like that. So how's it go?
like a ah ha ha kind of a thing.
Oh, like an ah ha ha, like that.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay, so ah ha ha.
Beautiful.
Oh, Rob could probably do it better.
Yeah. Movie Micah, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Connie from Steven Universe?
Uh, she's fine. I mean, she doesn't stand out to me as like the most interesting character, but for someone Steven to be a friend to and stuff like that, yeah, I think she's a decent character.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. How would you rank these Michael B. Jordan performances? Creed, Black Panther, Sinners.
Man, probably. Man, that's rough. It's a toss up between Sinners and Black Panther for me. I'll say Sinners and then Black Panther, then Creed. They're all good, but for me, I'm always really impressed when someone can play two parts and they're legit really believable because I think it's so easy to look like you're showing off. And I feel like we've seen that impressively so recently in The Monkey. I think the kid who played both little boys, I mean, I am still trying to convince myself that's one actor, like he was that good. I was pretty close with him and Sinners as well. So yeah, I'll say that.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What up, Walker Water and Bruce Almighty? I once owned Bruce Almighty on DVD. I hate Jim's performance as douche Bruce.
I don't even think he's that good as likable Bruce.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 Natalie Wood performances besides The Great Race.
Oh, how dare you? That's the sad confession. I haven't seen a ton of Natalie Wood movies, or I have, but I don't think I've seen the ones that are like, like, oh no, that's right, she was in Rebel Without Cause. I remember being pretty good in that. See, I can remember her in The Ghost of Mrs. Murr, but she was a kid, so I don't know if that. Oh wait, no, freaking Miracle on 34th Street. Wasn't that her? Wasn't she the kid? She was wonderful in that, if I'm right.
I'm not sure.
Good gosh, she was in a lot of movies. Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street. That's definitely up there. She was very, very good in that. Yeah, man, it's like a lot of the. Oh, I've seen The Blue Veil. She was good in that. Oh, and that's right. She was in The Searchers too. Holy smokes, yeah. I forgot she was in movies for a while. And I guess just because people will kill me if I don't say it, West Side Story. I guess it has to be up there.
Maggie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you like to take a survey? Rest in peace, George Wendt.
Wow, you went with that rep. Nobody's gonna get that reference, but I do, and I thank you for that. Yeah, that was kind of sad to see.
Yeah.
The last thing I saw him in. Oh, I gotta look it up because if y'all haven't seen this, it is so funny. Heather, you probably like it too.
Okay.
It is it's a Christmas rom-com, but it is a parody of, so like half the time
Okay.
it's. Oh no, he's in too many. He's in a million Christmas rom-coms. Oh, here it is. Christmas with the Campbells. Oh, and man, people don't get this. I'm looking at the score. It's like 5.4 stars. People do not get the humor of this movie because half of it is just a regular Christmas rom-com, and then the other half, out of nowhere, they'll just drop in like random F-bombs or random super raunchy humor, and everybody is playing it like, yeah, this belongs here. Like like Justin Long's, Southern accent in this is, the country boy with good values, like, is so laughably awful, but he's playing it so genuine. It just makes it so hilarious. And George Wendt is in it, and it's so funny. So yeah, if you like those purposefully bad Christmas rom-coms, that one's hilarious.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. After 5 long months, Bob's Burger is finally back. What do you think of the latest episode, Mr. Fishoder's Opus?
Eh. Actually, didn't get that. Well, especially because they're building up the big musical number at the end, and then you hear like half of it, or it cuts to the credits for the rest of it. I'm just like, no, you've been building that up so much. Let's really, really enjoy that, or give that some fun animation or something. Instead of playing the credits, that should have been, a good chunk of it. But like I don't know, it wasn't bad, but it didn't particularly interest me.
Fiddledy Bip, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, would you ever
Hi.
review a Neil Breen film for NC?
I probably should. I've never seen one all the way through. I've seen clips, which I feel like gives me a good idea of what they're like. But no, I've never seen one all the way through, and I probably should.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, at some point, please watch Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, one of my all-time favorite shows.
I have it on the list. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to it this year. I think the shows I have are just there's just a few too many episodes for him. So but I will at some point. It is on the list.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. When does an underrated movie stop being underrated? Can online buzz rewrite how we see it?
Oh, I think it often does. I think there's a lot of movies that people didn't connect to, maybe it weren't big hits when they came out, or or were hated or were loved, and now it might not be liked as much, or something that was like a huge phenomenon. Now people kind of don't remember it. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of when, I don't know. That's like I don't know the mathematical equation or the science behind when it officially becomes a movie that's not underrated anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe when there's merchandise of it, that's when you can probably say, okay, maybe it's not so underrated.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, Heather, based on Bruce Almighty, name 3 things you do with God's power off the top of your head.
Oh man.
Solve world hunger.
Give myself hair. It's like you say a nice one, I'll say just a totally selfish jerk one. Yeah, two others. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like a lot of mine would just be solving things, like solve world hunger, solve homelessness. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like, but in a way that wouldn't like destroy like free will and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be some way to do that, and
Yeah.
maybe that's it. Figure out how to solve those problems without destroying free will and still making life feel like there's that risk to it, because you need that risk of things going wrong, certainly, to have life feel like it's worthy of being around, but when you have those extremes and everything, it's like, yeah, finding somehow that middle ground where you can do that and life still feels like fulfilling. Well, that got weirdly philosophical.
Yeah. Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 500 bits. Happy Wednesday. Some good news. The pro shot for the musical Frozen is coming to Disney Plus on June 20th. It was fun when I saw it live. Possible Disney December review?
Maybe I've seen clips of it. I'm sure people upload it to like YouTube or something like that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I would watch bits and pieces. And yeah, the way they worked it out, with the staging and everything, seemed pretty cool. So pun intended. So I'll definitely watch out. I'll see if I want to do a Disney December on it. But yeah, because I don't remember Hamilton doing anything that great. I'm just like, if Hamilton doesn't get anything, then I don't know what Frozen's gonna get. But I might still do Newsies, because that is one I legit want to see the Broadway version of. Because I said as soon as I saw the movie, I'm like, man, I bet this would be a better Broadway show. Now that it exists and I can see it, I probably should cover it.
Yes, please do. Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. Normally, I don't like the discussion of what is true cinema, but I do want to ask this. When you think of all the amazing things cinema can do, what directors come to your mind? Some may think Spielberg, Scorsese, or Hitchcock, but for me, directors like Satoshi Kon, Kubrick, and George Miller come to mind.
Yeah, I'd say I would kind of go to animation with that too. I guess because with a lot of the early animated Disney movies, it's kind of like directed by Walt Disney Pictures. Like they'd have some names on it, but kind of it was a real group thing. So some of those early ones, like I would say, like Snow White and a lot of them. Um, in terms of directors, like maybe Spike Jones would come to my head. To some extent, Julie Taymor, I think, does. Who else? Who else? Charlie Kaufman. People that are really experimenting with the medium, and I think that does also include animation as well, like what they're doing with Across the Spider Verse and everything. So, yeah, there's a couple for you.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. All movie lessons are always heroes rule, evil drools. But the more that happens, the more I'm ironically evil. It's boring with the same results over and over.
Say the last part again.
Uh, sorry, but the more that happened, the more I'm ironically evil. It's boring with the same results over and over. Like
I
they
think
root for evil to win, or they.
maybe. Well, that's why for a long time, I mean, now it's got, they've fleshed them out a lot more. But for years, people would say, Disney has the best villains. Everybody sees them as so kid friendly and stuff, but the villains are really, really, venomous. And I think that's why they're allowed to be more interesting back then. Now the heroes can be a little bit more interesting. They have their style and everything and their formula. But yeah, I do always think a lot of times, because back in the day, the heroes were always so ethical, and so we should look to them as a role model, that they would forget to write them interesting. They make them too good, where the villains could be much more human. And that's why they said with Shakespeare too. A lot of times, the villains sometimes are more interesting. Oh, he wrote heroes very interesting too. So, yeah, I think the more human a character can be, the more interesting they usually are. And we usually find characters more human by how flawed they are. If you have a character always so good and so virtuous, you're supposed to look up to them, they don't seem human. But you have a villain who's already doing flawed things. I mean, they're the bad guys, they're doing bad things. They're more interesting. I think that's kind of the issue with some of again, the Disney live action remakes, is that they're trying to make the main characters too perfect, too much of a role model, to where they forget to, make them interesting. They should have flaws. They should have flaws that they can overcome. That's what makes them interesting.
David, thank you for the $2 super chat. Tipio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Besides popcorn, what's your go-to movie theater snack combo?
Oh, I hate popcorn now. Movie theater popcorn, I don't like. It makes me sick now. I
Oh,
think it's the butter on it.
yeah,
So
probably.
my wife usually gets popcorn. I'll have like one or two bites off the top and then stop. Like, I know I can't do anymore. It'll hurt me. But honestly, the ones for me, if it's not like a sit down place, well, okay, they're all sit down places, but like they serve you kind of thing. Probably either a hot dog, which surprisingly are okay at movie theaters, and if there's one that has like a Pizza Hut pizza, the small pepperoni pizzas from Pizza Hut are weirdly good. And I'm not a Pizza Hut fan, but something about the small ones, that's like the perfect measurement of, like, sort of meat, grease, cheese, bread. It's like perfect somehow. I don't know why that measurement somehow is perfect.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. May 18th, 2025, I watched BTTF on a trip, in quotations, and discovered the film's biggest hidden secret. Marty was Doc's time travel test subject the whole time.
Hmm. Well, so that no, because here's the thing. If they had it where the future didn't change, I would agree with that. But because they have it that, his father changes, his mother changes and stuff like that, that then indicates that he was originally gonna die, and then, Marty went and alerted him and everything. So it's a fun idea. I mean, but a lot of things in that movie doesn't check out in terms of the logic and stuff, but a lot of time travel movies are like that. So there's a hint of an idea, and I don't think it quite checks out, but it's a fun idea.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, rectal blowing butt monkey. I mean, Doug Almighty. How are you and our Twitch queen tonight?
Oh, just like my mother used to say. Good.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Skipped one of posts on Friday right before the Eggo Monster Girl ad. The one about doing Batman 1989 Diet Coke and a Batman and Robin Eggo and Pop Tarts ads too.
Oh, I didn't see the Batman Robin one. That I'll check out. I remember. Oh wait, did I? I might have referenced it when I did the Batman Return Diet Coke commercial, but I can't remember. There's not a ton to it. There's not really a lot I can talk about. I just always remember seeing it before watching Batman because they always had that ad before the movie would play on the VHS. But yeah, I don't think there's a ton I can get out of it. I'll check out the Batman Robin Pop Tart one though. That one I don't know. I'll write that down.
The Masked Nerd, thank you for the $10 super chat. Son, aha, butterfly. The mom, what are you doing? The son says, there's a butterfly. And then mom says, no butter for 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, the mom, aha, a cockroach. The son, you know what that means.
Mhm. Cute.
I don't get it. I'm sorry.
Well, if you see a butterfly and they say, "Hey, no butter for you for a week," someone sees a cockroach. What are you gonna take away?
Oh,
I was frozen
I
today.
see.
Why
I
would you take
understand
away
now.
butter for a week?
Yeah.
Someone says butterfly.
Interesting. All right. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 1 of 3. 1955, Doc is visited by Marty with a time machine, Doc's recording, and flux capacitor, which Doc discovered earlier that day. When Marty says he got his parents together, Doc, seeing the photo, realizes.
All right. Well, I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out.
Jamie, thank you for the $5 super chat. When The Flash came out, director, I never know how to say his name, Andy Muschietti, in an interview said that his DC film flopped because girls don't like superheroes. Thoughts?
I unrespectfully disagree.
What a weird thing to say in the 2010s, 2020. That's so wild.
Yeah, that's that makes about as much sense as the effects are supposed to be bad.
Right. AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the upcoming biopic Madden, featuring Nicolas Cage as John Madden and Christian Bale as Al Davis?
I hadn't heard of that. Ooh. On Nicholas. Are there any pictures yet or anything? Let me see. Look at that. Huh. Oh, I'm interested. Yeah. All right. I totally didn't know about that.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your all-time favorite so bad it's good movie to riff on with friends?
Man. It's hard to say. I mean, like, The Room is pretty fantastic. I Sleepwalkers is pretty great. Yeah, maybe some of the Stephen King ones, like Sleepwalkers. Maximum Overdrive, I think, is purposefully bad, so I don't know if I can count that one. Man, I don't know. It's like there's a bunch rushing through my head, and then it goes blank. Those are some good ones from now. I'm sorry. Actually, to some extent, Batman Robin is almost a fun one to riff, but like I said, it just keeps going, and you're finally like, okay, stop. This isn't fun anymore. But that good, I don't know, first 10, 20 minutes or so is actually really fun for how crazy insane it is.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 500 bits. I think Bruce Almighty is one of Carrey's above average films. What stood out for me is showing being God is more complicated than most people think, like answering prayers that would actually take up his whole life. And when Bruce asks, how do you make people love me without affecting free will? And God replies, if you have an answer to that, let me know. There's multiple layers to the movie.
The good stuff is around Freeman. His acting is really great. A lot. See, and this is where, it's funny because I was talking to Heather beforehand a little bit, and we were saying, like, yeah, I think if you grew up with that movie, these are kind of like introductions to these ideas maybe you didn't think about before, which are not bad things to be introduced to, certainly. But if you're a little old, this movie did not originate these ideas. These ideas are talked about a lot. When you get out of high school, or even like at the end of high school. So they're nothing new. It's more, can you do something more with the comedy, or can you bring up something that maybe hasn't been brought up with a scenario like this? And to me, I think Freeman brought kind of a nice spin to some of these lines that are, again, like I said, a little chicken soup for the soul, but he makes them sound fresh. He makes them sound new. And he really does make him feel like, yes, he's the almighty, but he's also a person. He's a very smart, gentle person. And yeah, it's one of those things where watching it again, it was a little worse than I remember, but I was like, man, Freeman's even better than I remember. Like, he really did do a good job.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 3. Marty was the test subject to see if time travel works and if the future can be fixed, even if the past gets interfered. Doc sets the time so Marty arrives the moment he left to not interrupt his plan. To be continued.
Okay.
Mace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, Doug and Heather. Hope you're doing great. Wanted to ask, with both remakes nearing, do you guys prefer Toothless or Stitch more?
Uh, And they're both Chris Sanders movies, which is so interesting. Yeah, this is definitely the year of Chris Sanders live action remake.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre. Um, Boy, I don't know.
I think I'd go with Toothless. I
It's
just love
really rough.
Toothless. It is rough.
You know what? The more I look at them too, just the overall outline of their heads, their outline of the heads are kind of the same too. They have the ears that kind of go up and they're kind of oval. I never thought of that. Um, Boy, I don't know. They're just so different. Okay, I'll say this. I found Toothless more interesting because you couldn't always figure out, Stitch would say some words or he'd have very obvious reactions, where Toothless, you kind of had to figure out how to read, what he was thinking. And again, he never did talk, so that always made it interesting. So I like there's that extra layer there. Gives a little wiggle room for interpretation. Not a lot. I mean, a lot is pretty obvious, but I guess I'll say Toothless, but just by a tooth.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Night at the Museum, what do you think of Dick Van Dyke?
When I first saw the movie, I thought, oh no, are they gonna they're gonna make him the generic bad guy? Oh no. But when it actually got to those scenes and I saw how much fun he was having, how much fun the movie was having with him as the bad guy, I was actually like, all right, this is actually really, really fun. Yeah, I thought you did a great job.
AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. Brent Spiner recently talked about Master of Disguise, saying he had a fun time filming it and loves it for its terribleness.
That's awesome. So many movies that people see as awful and terrible and stuff like that. A good chunk of the time, sometimes you'll find out like people had a blast making it. It's like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You want some good stuff to come out of it, definitely. So no, that's actually awesome to hear.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. If I hate a character's negative traits, does that make them poorly written? Example, my hatred for racist pervy Judge Frollo in Disney's Hunchback.
It depends what the movie is trying to do with them, and interesting or how interesting you find the character. Because I was gonna say human, but that's not true. Sometimes you want a character to be inhuman. That's part of the fun. So, yeah, I think it's gonna differ from person to person. I mean, part of what you might hate about Frollo could very well be you see him as too human. You're like, oh, I recognize people like this, and I don't like people like this, which is fair, but you could argue that's what the movie is trying to do as well.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 3 of 3. Doc then waits 30 years to hire Marty for assistance. The day comes, and Doc, after reading the letter, instructs Marty to bring a camera to the mall to video everything for his younger self to see very soon.
Again, if the future did not change, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that and be like, yeah, that makes sense. But because it does, the father changes, the mother changes. Well, in the sequels, they literally change. But yeah, I think because it shows the future can be changed, I don't know if that quite works. But again, it kind of makes up its own rules as it goes as well. So I guess there's some wiggle room there. But to me, it doesn't quite work, but it's a fun idea.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Final part. To make sure Marty goes back in time and sets everything in motion, Doc pretends to know how the Libyans found him and then fake his own death.
See, that's what okay, in the after he comes back from going back in time, yes, that is what happens there. So he knows it. He's seen the video over and over. He knows what's going to happen, so he just wears a bulletproof vest. So he has to look shocked. He knows everything has to play out. So that is true. That's something where in any version of the movie, that is true.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. And Jurassic Park, what do you think of the relationship between Ellie and Grant?
I like it. I thought they had chemistry, even though I couldn't understand half of what she was saying. With like just the mumbling, but even when you don't know what she's saying, she's still so charming. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, as a teacher, what are some movies you'd use in class to teach storytelling or character arcs? Well, a lot of times I'd be using books for that, not movies, but like if we read the book, then we'd watch the movie and then compare and contrast like characters and their purposes or the arcs and, the author's intent versus the director's intent. So like we'd read The Giver and then watch The Giver and then like read Tuck Everlasting and then watch Tuck Everlasting, that kind of stuff. Although when I did teach communications, I used to have the kids watch Wall-E to talk about nonverbal
Mhm.
communication because there
All right,
aren't the robots don't talk, obviously. So I did
respect.
that as well. AOTV, thank you for the $10 super chat. Spiner also said when Sandler was looking for a director for Master of Disguise, nobody volunteered except for Perry Blake, who had been the art director on all of Sandler's films.
Okay, well, and I will say that movie, to its credit, tried to have some sort of weird visual style. It wasn't just another, Sandler production, even though I know he produced it, he didn't star in it. But so I will give it that too. Maybe that's another reason it never quite makes my worst of list because I'm like, well, visually it looks kind of interesting. Kind of the same with Son of the Mask. It's like visually it's trying. It's just I don't know what it's trying.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the previous two film versions of I Am Legend, starring Vincent Price and Charlton Heston and Will Smith's role?
I haven't seen the Vincent Price one. I probably should because I bet that's awesome. I'll be honest. Oh, this is gonna sound terrible. I didn't know that existed. I knew about the John Heston one, the Omega Man, which I saw. I remember liking, but I didn't know about the Vincent Price one. I gotta check that out.
Mace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Also, which Chris Sanders film do you like more, Lilo and Stitch or How to Train Your Dragon?
How to Train Your Dragon is probably better. I think I like Lilo and Stitch more. Again, just for the sisters. I thought the sisters were done very, very well in that.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite subversive movie that subverts audience expectations expertly?
Uh Man. Well, clearly the Last Jedi. No. Yeah, no rage war going on here. Boy, I don't know. Oh, so I wasn't I wasn't the target demographic for this, so I found out about it later. But when Terminator 2 came out, I guess they were still advertising that he was going to be the bad guy. So when you actually get to the part where he holds the gun at John Connor, he's like, "Get down!" It's like, what? So I thought that was kind of cool. Although I heard mixed things. I heard some people say some of the advertising did, some didn't. Um, but either way, I think that's a very, very there's got to be people going into that haven't seen all of the advertisements and will be surprised by that. So I thought that was pretty clever. I'm not saying that's the best one, but it was a pretty good one.
AOTV, thank you for the $10 super chat. The rumored cast for the MCU X-Men, Nicholas Geltazine, Angel, sorry. The way they wrote this is a little odd. Okay, Nicholas Galatazine as Angel, Drew Starkey, Iceman, Daisy Edgar Jones, Jean Grey, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Cyclops, and Logan Lerman, Beast.
Huh. Patrick Schwarzenegger. Interesting. I just saw him in White Lotus, and he was pretty good. He might be too big. He almost be a better Colossus. Yeah, all right. A lot of those I'll admit I don't know, but I do know Patrick Schwarzenegger, and that might be interesting. Oh, what are one about the for expectations? Psycho, definitely. That's like one of the most famous ones.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact about Batman the Animated Series, the episode Trial was originally pitched as a movie. Do you think that would have worked?
Oh yeah, I think that would have been really good. Though I will say, if it's like a big screen movie, I I think it would work for fans. I don't know if it would work as well for people that like are outsiders coming in. Like Mask of the Phantasm. I think everybody knows who the Joker is, so that's not a
Hmm.
big stretch. But everything else in there, it explains very well for newcomers. Um, I think that'd be pretty cool. It'd be a good like series finale. Honestly, I was kind of shocked that wasn't like the last episode.
James, thank you for the $20 super chat. I
Thank
wanted
you.
to point out that the people who protested Bruce Almighty despite it having the great message of you can't know what it is to be God loved Evan Almighty with its basic message of just be a good person.
I didn't even know people did protest it, but it's like, yeah, that's just kind of the age when they did that. They did it with Dogma. They did it with a lot of movies they haven't seen yet. I don't know if that still goes. Well, I think now it just happens with like downvotes, and comments. I don't know how many people actually like go to a movie to protest it now. Maybe because there's other legit things to protest, but yeah. No, it's interesting. I forgot that was even a thing.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Phase 4/5 MCU films stood out or disappointed you the most, and why?
Well, I mean, No Way Home is probably my favorite out of them. What was another? There's like one other big one where I was like, that was good. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Deadpool
Hold
and
on.
Wolverine?
Yeah, I guess that's Phase 5. I'm trying to see what was Phase 4. Loki. I don't think. I mean, again, we're talking about movies. I'm assuming. Yeah, No Way
MCU
Home.
films, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked Wakanda Forever. That's Phase 4,
I,
right?
I did like Wakanda Forever. Yeah. Um, but I thought there was like one other major one. I guess not. But yeah, I did like Wakanda Forever quite a bit. With Phase 5, yeah, I like Deadpool, Wolverine. And that might be again because the others are shows like X Men '97 instead. Well, again, does that even count? I don't know. Um, but yeah, so there you go.
Ice Luigi, thank you for the $7 super chat. For this year's Disney-Cember, possible review of the Disney sitcom That's So Raven and its spin-off Cory in the House and Raven's Home.
I'm not gonna have time. I did see what you call it, like Boy Meets World and stuff like that. But in terms of like the Disney Channel shows, I know there's a ton of episodes, and I'll be honest, they just don't interest me. Boy Meets World interested me because at least I saw a little bit of it while I was younger, and I wanted to see why this was said to be like a show of a generation, kind of thing. So the only other one I could think, it's not Disney, but I would like to see that I hear had a similar impact is maybe Hey Arnold. A lot of people said that really had like a big impact on kids growing up. But the others, I'm sure they're fine. I don't think I would hate them or anything, but it's not something I'm like rushing to see.
The Disney Nerd, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hypothetically, if the best animated feature existed back in 1999 slash or to 2000, would you give it to The Iron Giant or Toy Story 2, assuming those would be the top two contenders?
Probably Toy Story 2. It'd be very close. I do like Iron Giant a lot, but just the story in Toy Story 2 is so good. Where Iron Giant is good, but we've seen that story before. It's more writing on like the characters, the animation, the lines and stuff. But yeah, Toy Story 2, just everything is about as perfect as you can get.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. How come we don't see Rob on screen much anymore? Also, without spoilers, when does Steven Universe start to get into the deep emotional story?
Boy, that's a good question. Maybe halfway through season 1 or near the end of season 1, I think. I'd have to go back, but it takes a hot minute. It does take a while. And in terms of Rob, I hate him. No.
He just
No,
doesn't want to.
yeah, no, well, and also for this, we just know if he's here, that takes up more time.
Mm.
So what we do, but he does do like the was it the members only stream? He'll come in for that because he's like, okay, we're not in a rush for that. And yeah, he shows up every once in a while. He's in the next NC coming out, so look from there.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. A week late, but after Critic said, "You're not B, Larry Queen," or sorry, wow, Larry King, Jesus, Heather,
Mhm.
"You're not there." In Shark Tale NC 4 years later, the prophecy has been fulfilled.
I have to go back and see it again. I can't remember the joke I made. I trust you. I made a lot of videos, man. I can't remember all the jokes, sadly. Or
Tifio,
maybe for the best.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think art needs to be controversial to make an impact, or can it be powerful without pushing boundaries?
Oh, sure. I think there's a lot of great art out there. It just has to speak to something that we see value in, and even that value can be either timeless or it can be of that time. It can be just capturing a moment in time. So no, I know people that lean heavily towards it. I'm definitely not someone that's like, make it all clean, make it. No, I like shocking, controversial stuff, if it's smart, like anything. But yeah, I don't think that's true. I think, we were talking about Snow White earlier. That's a brilliant movie. Is there anything really controversial in that movie when it came out? Like not really.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. You mentioned a while ago you were looking to review foreign commercials with stars. Is that still on the docket?
Yeah. I should probably start planning that because I said I would do it either in June or July. So I'll be doing that soon. Yeah, so keep an eye out. Well, it doesn't even have to have stars. I think I'm just gonna do foreign commercials in general. If they have stars, great, but it's not required. So yeah, just keep an eye out on like, my Facebook or whatever. I'll just say like, hey, y'all throw some foreign commercials at me. I already got a couple. But yeah, I because I know there's a lot of bonkers ones out there and they deserve their own special.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Besides Buck Cluck from Chicken Little, who do you think is one of Disney's most unlikable parents?
Unlikable parents. I gotta look at them. Hold on. Disney parents. Let's see what pops up here.
The Sultan
Um
in Aladdin, Jasmine's dad is
yeah,
a bit annoying.
but that's part of the fun. I think some are intentionally annoying.
Well, yeah.
I try to think of one. I don't think this counts or probably what you're looking for, but in the show Tangled, I really hated the father. After he just stopped everything. He's like, let's go on this adventure. No, you're staying here for a whole season. You're just stuck there because the father's like, no. And it's like, I hate that guy. And his reasoning made no sense. So, I guess I'll say that because I look at a lot of these other ones and I'm just like, no, it's like, I'm sure there's another one, but I'm blanking.
Oh, someone in chat said King Triton.
I like King Triton. I like he was the one that probably went through the biggest change. He had to work through his prejudice. No, I actually really like the way they handled him quite a bit.
Tivio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What cult classic movie would never get greenlit today, for better or worse?
I mean, there's a lot of cult movies. Again, let me just type
Cult
in cult
classics.
classics and see what pops up. Oh, cult classic movies.
I mean, I think something like Blazing Saddles probably wouldn't get made today.
Yeah, probably. Hey, that's not true. Not only did they remake it, they remade it for kids.
Right.
Yeah, that weird samurai movie. I don't know. Most of these again, I've gotten in hot trouble for saying this before, but I think parts of Hocus Pocus don't age very well.
They don't.
And you know what parts they are. But I think everybody likes everything else about it, that they look past it. I guess I'll say that. Yeah, I'm not saying like the whole film. Again, there's a lot of things I like in that film, but I I still can't believe that's it. That was weird even in the 90s.
Case, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the Zootopia 2 teaser? Prediction, the furries are going to have a field day with how the snake is coiling around Nick.
There is going to be the whatchamacallit, the resurgence of the car scene again from Jungle Book. Yeah, I did. I actually, it's funny. Like the movie looks good, whatever, but I just like the way they did the trailer. They don't show any footage. They do it kind of like a cute little music video, but it's getting across story and new characters, and it is kind of showing you what it's about without really necessarily telling you or spelling it all out. And I really like that. It was one of the first trailers in a while where I'm like, okay, like what's gonna happen in this? Even though it showed no footage from the movie. I thought that was really, really cool. I thought it was a very unique way of doing that.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. So I just found out at the beginning of the stream that I joined your Twitch exactly 1 year ago today, so I thought I'd ask a question similar to my very first one. What do you like about Everything Everywhere All at Once, and do you prefer this film over Daniel's other film, Swiss Army Man? Super excited for their new project next year.
Yeah, I do like it more than Swiss Army Man, and I like that movie fine. But Everything Everywhere All at Once is like just a whole different ballpark, like literally a whole different universe. Yeah, what do I like most about it though? I think just the fact that it could take I'm very fascinated by movies. I feel like I'm seeing this more and more that can take very complicated kind of laughably overly complicated ideas and actually make them very emotional, and you get sucked into them, and kind of the forest convoluted side of them is part of the charm, and they're aware of it and they have fun with it. Again, Lord and Miller do a lot of that, I feel, and they're very, very good at, and I think that movie did too. And yeah, no, I was very much drawn into that movie.
Vampire Logic, thank you for the $5 super chat. Without spoilers, what did you think of Arcane season 2?
I liked it. I do wish there was one more season. It feels like, and I think I said before that I don't know if it was meant to have more seasons. Maybe they did just plan 2 seasons, but I think it's very clear, bare minimum, it should be 3. From what I haven't finished it yet, but from what I'm seeing of Andor, that kind of has the same vibe. Though I guess they're talking about 5, and I'm like, 3 would be good. I think you can do 3. But yeah, there's some things where it's like, this is still good and well done. I'm invested. The animation is great. The way they worked around the budget cuts, I thought was brilliant. If I was watching it, I would maybe question some of the styles a little, but not much. And I wouldn't assume it's a budget cut thing. But because I know Netflix cut a lot of animation, I'm looking at like, I see what you're doing. This is really, really well handled. But yes, I feel like when it got to the end, I'm like, okay, I care, I'm invested, but man, I feel like I'd be teary eyed by the end of this if it had one more season to draw everything out a little more. And there are some moments that did give me a little bit. I really like, without giving away, the escape scene with Jinx. Again, without giving away too much. I thought that was a very, very powerful scene, and almost nothing had to be said. So it still had some really, really great moments.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Bruce Almighty, I always thought that some of the questions were funny, but the last half is definitely a bit boring, like you said. I had a hard time sitting through it.
I agree.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Steven Universe, what do you think of Steven's father, Greg?
He's fine. He's not my favorite. Like, he's just an all-around nice guy, and it's like, good for you, but whenever there's any attention on him, I'm like, all right. Like, the only line I really remember loving from him is I think Steven sees the pizza is cut different, and he's like, oh, I think it's cut Chicago style instead of, pie style. And just like, oh, I thought pizza was supposed to be cut a certain way. And he says, son, you'll get to an age where you'll appreciate all pizza. And I love that line.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm going to mispronounce this. I think Salick in Trap was really good in the scene where she was more low-key, and the scenes where she had to have bigger reactions, she struggled.
Is that, spell the name.
Saleka. Saleka? I don't know.
Okay, that is his daughter. Yeah, I was just making sure. Now that you mentioned, I'm not sure I pronounced it right.
I have no idea how to pronounce it.
But no, at first she's not awful. Again, if they just kept it pretty minimalized, maybe they could have gotten away with it okay. But when she suddenly becomes the main character, it's like, yeah, there's kind of no way around this now.
The Wessonator, thank you for the $10 super chat. Not a question, just wanted to say I took a big step with my fiance and showed her an NC for the first time. She loves Lord of the Rings, so we watched the Fellowship review. She checked out right away at the fart joke.
Well, at least she knows what she likes and what she hates. Congrats, by the way, for taking that big step.
Noah, thank you for the $10 super chat. Last of Us Season 2 isn't great, so I highly recommend an alternate fanfic by the YouTube channel The Closer Look. It's 10 million times more compelling. It might as well be a 5-star audiobook.
I don't have time to listen to or watch, read whatever fanfics. I barely have time to watch, read, listen to, just stuff I want to listen to. And no, I got to the episode, everyone knows what the episode is in season 2, and I wasn't hating it. I just wasn't that invested. And I had kind of the same issue with the game. I don't hate the game. I'm just not that invested. I thought it was a little too predictable. Like I said, depending on where the season ends. Well, Heather, you're watching it. Does it look like it's gonna end where the game ends, or are they taking the second game and dragging it out to
I
two
think they're
seasons?
dragging it out, but I could be wrong.
Oh, see, that'll be a shame because I wanted to see them wrap up where the game wraps up and then do something only in the show, like something that hasn't been done in the game. Like that'd be interesting to me. But they could take it a different direction or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not hating it. I'm just not that invested.
Movie lover, thank you for the 500 bits. The funny thing, as I was watching a compilation of impressions Jim Carrey has done throughout his career, which one is your favorite?
Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Eastwood is kind of cool. Yeah, just the way you could get that. Well, that another one he did on In Living Color, where again I'm like, well, how do you do that? How do you do his face? He did George Hamilton. I don't even know how many people know who George Hamilton is, but the big thing was his skin, his tan, and everything. So of course they put a bunch of makeup on him, but he actually managed to get the face down. I'm just like, man, that cannot be easy. And then Alan Thicke, that's another one where I'm like, well, how do you really do Alan Thicke? And he managed to do it. He did the voice and the face. I was really, really impressed by that.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you weren't a big fan of Bruno, but what'd you think about the cage fight scene at the end of the movie? Just the mixture of them playing My Heart Will Go On while the two characters are kissing, surrounded by a bunch of angry spectators, was hilarious, especially when it almost caused a riot in real life.
Did it though? I don't know. So many things in those movies they say it was really happening and stuff, and I'm just like, I just don't know. And especially in that one, they felt so staged. What is it, The Agent or something? Like hanging on the phone. Can you believe he's saying this? And he's getting off walking like, we're gonna make this look real. He's saying this. I can't believe it. It just sounded so fake and so phony. And I don't know. I'd always hear about these lawsuits as well. I'll be honest, I don't believe them. I think they were done to get attention on the movie. I think they're staged. I could be wrong. Maybe these people just act so strange they feel like bad actors. But that's the thing; they feel like bad actors, and the setup of the camera and everything. I don't know. I don't buy it. But even for that, for the setup of the story and everything, Bruno was just so unlikable that I didn't want to see them get together. I'm like, no, these two, that guy should go somewhere else. Like, you should find, somebody that, is worth more and will love him back, like in a good way and stuff. So, yeah, that was my takeaway.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In The Mask of Zorro, who do you think is a better performance? Antonio Banderas as Alejandro or Anthony Hopkins as Diego?
I'll say Banderas. Hopkins, for the most part, stays one mode, which he plays very well. I shouldn't say that. He's got a few more layers to him, but Antonio really has to go through a lot of different motions through that, and a lot of different roles, a lot of different styles, a lot of different, you know, types of characters he has to play and everything. And he does all of them great and very believable. So yeah, I would say Banderas. I think he did a really good job in that.
Jack, thank you for the £5 super chat. DuckTales 2017 is the best example of a reboot done perfectly. Do you agree?
I wouldn't say perfectly. If you watch my Disney December on it, I do point out some issues with it, but it's pretty damn close. It's one of the few reboots I think it's in the Disney December as well, where when somebody says, "What do you think of who created Animaniacs?" I'll say, Tom Ruger. Who created Bugs Bunny? I'll say, Chuck Jones, Fritz Freeling, Tex Avery, all them. If you said who created DuckTales, I say which one? Like they're that different and they're that distinct and they so stand so well on their own. Where like I said, I legit would have to question like they're both so different, but they're so distinctly DuckTales. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's pretty damn good. It exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Surprised you didn't make a joke that this is the second time Jim Carrey did a slow motion shot assaulting children, this time with milk. The first was in The Grinch.
I'll believe you. Neither of these movies I like putting on a lot, so it's not surprising that. Yeah, I didn't remember that.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any chance you've reconsidered doing the 1986 Worst Witch special for Nostalgia? I know you've heard it's boring, but it's really not trippy a lot.
I'll try to check. I'll try to check it out at some point. How about that? If it looks like something where I'm like, "Ooh, I can get material out of this outside of that song," I'll do a review on it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Their Nick show I would recommend, Danny Phantom.
Yeah, I heard that's really good. It's another one where it's just I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it. There's just too much stuff for me to watch already.
Porcupines Are God, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the upcoming War of the Roses remake starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman?
Really? Holy smoke! I didn't know that. Both great actors. Man, that first one is so good though. I don't know. I'll just have to see.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Maskazora, what do you think of the final battle between Alejandro and Harrison Love?
It's great. Oh man, but so many when I saw it in the movie theater, I mean, spoiler, the good guy wins. When he does the finishing blow, like people applauded, like, "Yeah, take that, you son of a," like it was just so good. And the one-liners he was constantly, the line about his brother, that is such a good, "Oh, you get him, Zorro." It's just I love it.
AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. Kangaroo Jack won favorite fart in a movie at the Kids' Choice Awards, and Anthony Anderson accepted the award riding a camel. Thoughts?
I mean, that everything in that sentence is perfection.
Great. Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. During your review for Craven the Hunter, you made a reference to Mufasa the Lion King by comparing the CGI lions. Does this mean you watched Mufasa? And if so, what did you think?
I still haven't seen it yet. I will this year though. I'm gonna do it for Disney December, but yeah, I haven't got around to it yet.
A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, random question, but has your wife seen the live action Grinch? If I'm being honest, I hope she hasn't. If she unfortunately has, I hope she hates it as well.
I don't think so. That's just not something that's up her alley. I don't even know if like the original's up her alley. Like she knows the original, and I think she likes it fine, but it's not something she. I think she more likes the Peanuts Christmas special. That's kind of the one she would watch a lot. She'll watch some of our Christmas specials, but yeah, but she likes the bad Christmas rom-coms, and so do I for that matter. Like that's what she seeks out around that time of year. Oh, and we do also watch Christmas Vacation every year.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Mr. Mom?
I remember liking it. I haven't seen it since it came out, but I remember liking it fine. I'm sure there's stuff I'll look back on and be like, boy, this is just of its time. I think it was in the 80s, but well, it's definitely in the 80s. But yeah, we're being okay.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part one of two. A few streams ago, I brought up celebrities born the same year as you. Since then, I looked up more celebrities that were born the same year as you, and here are some that I found that may blow your mind. To be continued.
Okay.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Lost World versus Jurassic Park 3. You mentioned that you hated the plot of 2 more than 3. Did you think 3 was better because of the shortened time?
Yes. Honestly, it was also less boring. Like 2 definitely had some moments that, particularly the ending, that's interesting. But yeah, 3 is just like, we're just gonna do a little B movie with dinosaurs. Get in, get out, eat your popcorn, bye. And I'm like, yeah, part of me kind of appreciate it for that. It shouldn't be what a Jurassic Park movie is, but just for a little B movie dinosaur movie, it's like, I can't respect it.
Commander Kronk, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever considered doing a sequel to sequel month? I understand if you feel like it's rehashing old territory.
We could call it sequel month the sequel or sequel month the reboot. I don't know what I put on there. You know what it is? I think all these other months I'd want to get to instead of that. All these other theme months. So probably not. But it's not that it's a bad idea. I think I'd want to do a lot of these other ones instead.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Morgan Freeman in Unforgiven?
He's good. I don't know, it's pretty hard to, even when he's in a bad movie, he's usually pretty good. I can't recall that many times where he turned in a bad performance. But I don't think it's one of like his greats or anything like that. But no, I thought he did a very good job.
Lightning Fire, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, love the Spy Kids 1 and 3 reviews so much. Would you review Rodriguez's other movies, specifically Shorts 2009 or Neil Gaiman's Mirror Mask 2004?
Uh, Mirror Mask, I know nobody would check out. I would love to talk about it. I actually find it a very interesting movie, but I know nobody would check it out. Um, Shorts, I might because the Rodriguez movie is just people. I think it does have a fan, but I think kids did grow up with it, and they're probably older now, so they might remember it. But I've never seen all of it. I've just seen bits and pieces, and it kind of looked like that was enough. But I might get around to it.
A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 2 of 2 with the celebrities that are born the same year as you. Justin Timberlake, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Elijah Wood, Ben Schwartz, Tom Hiddleston, Chauncey Leopardi, Squints from the Sandlot, Dan Mintz, Tina from Bob's Burgers, TJ Miller, Hayden Christensen, and Jeremy Johns.
Neat. Okay. Matt, that's two YouTube critics born the same year. That's interesting.
Peter Crowder, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, what was your favorite and least favorite Ask That Guy question and answer that you gave throughout the series?
uh, favorite, least favorite answer that I gave or question?
Question and answer.
Question and answer. Man, I don't know. If it's a question I didn't like, I usually didn't answer it. And my favorite answer? I don't. Oh, just the. Can I say it now on YouTube? I don't know. Somebody just asked the question, can you come over and me? And I go, certainly. I get a gun. I do the slow walk outside, just down the neighborhood. I go in the house. You hear, what the hell? Bam. I leave. I slowly walk back. I go back to my spot. I go, by the way, where do you live? I love that one.
Sean, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, of all the sci-fi shows out there, have you ever seen the series Lex? It focuses on a spaceship resembling a giant insect and the ability to blow up planets. Tim Curry makes an appearance in an early episode as a crazy AI on a planet doomed by a supernova. There's 4 seasons, all on DVD. Lex with 2 X's.
X. Okay. That's it. Because I'm like, why does that sound familiar? It's like I'm spelling it wrong. That's why. I've never seen the whole thing. I've seen bits and pieces. It did look interesting. But I never heard outside of just the ads. No, it's not true. I did actually hear some good things about it. Yeah, I never did check it out. Maybe I should because I remember it looked delightfully weird.
CCella, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, when you told your love origin story a few months ago, did you realize you share your story, the first High School Musical movie, and how they met?
As in meeting my wife? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that is.
They meet at a
how
New
they
Year's
meet.
Eve party.
That's right. That's right.
They
Okay.
do.
Well, I mean, us being super High School Musical fans, I mean, I'll have to tell her that. I mean, not that I need to. She already knows. I mean, we just talk about it all the time. No, actually, that's cute. I legit didn't know that. But now that I'm thinking back to that movie, I'm like, you're right. That is how it starts.
A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. Just saw Kiki's Delivery Service this weekend for Studio Ghibli Fest, and I had a great time. It's one of my favorite Ghibli movies, and I'm glad to have seen it on the big screen.
Me too. I saw it this past weekend too. Because I always said I wanted to see it on the big screen, and I never did. So I finally got a chance to, and it is great. It is so immersive. Like I said, I just always love the flying. Even just on the small screen, I loved the flying shots. But just watching it, on the big screen, just man, there's some points. That one scene where she's above the town, then she just does that drop like this. I mean, my stomach just like my stomach just kind of drops or whatever that phrase is. I get like butterflies there whenever that happens because you just really do feel like you're dropping down. Yeah, I still love it. It's still a great movie.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I can't eat a lot of movie theater food anymore either because I have a gluten allergy.
Ooh, yeah, man. When a movie theater doesn't have gluten, the water.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you plan on doing a Disney December review on Greatest Showman with it being from Fox?
Maybe because actually I want to do a Nostalgia Critic review of it. I should look into doing that soon. I do. That movie's it's awful, but I love it. Man, that's a movie they were talking about. What movie is fun to watch and make fun of and stuff like that. And that's yes, you can make fun of that movie, but there is legit passion put into it and a lot of talent put into it as well. It just happens to be awful. But yeah, no, I should get around to that one actually.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Back to the Future, what do you think of the subplot of Marty trying to save Doc? I really like how it shows how much Doc means to Marty.
Yeah, I agree. It's another one of those where when you think about the fact you don't really see them together until right before he goes back in time, and they set up so much between them. And as many people point out, it's a pretty strange relationship. I thought they handled that pretty well. And again, even just going around, was it Doc's? I think it was Doc's house when he plays the big stereo and everything with the guitar. They set up so much with that. So yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was pretty well done.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. I do notice that you reference this film a lot in your streams and reviews, so have you thought much about doing an NC on The Sandlot?
Yeah, it's on the list. A lot of it's weird. It's almost like either the algorithm or something, I don't know, goes back and forth between like kind of favoring late 80s, early 90s movies and then just they do death. So right now they're doing death. So I'm not gonna do it right now. But yeah, like last year, like Princess Bride just like did great numbers and we're just like, what on earth? Like I thought this one would do okay at best. So yeah, there's a couple we did like that back then. So it's on the list. I'll get to it at some point. I'm just not entirely sure when.
A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Inside Out miniseries Dream Productions? And if so, what'd you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Mhm.
It feels like it should have been a movie, like a little Disney Plus movie. I thought it was weird that it was a show, and I also didn't see the point in doing it like not reality show. What do you call it? Like a documentary style show, because so often they would break out of that anyway, and I didn't think it showed that much. But no, I really liked it because I think it's a great thing to expand on, and what a great ending too. Like what they ended up doing with that. Again, I'm just always so impressed what they do in that universe and how well they handled it. So, yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Magic Window, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you heard of the movie The Plague Dogs? It's about two dogs escaping from an abusive research facility and avoiding recapture. Some pretty brutal moments.
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. Let me see. Okay, it's funny. I have heard of this. It's actually not the one I was thinking of,
Oh,
but no. So I thought there was another movie, like a CG movie, but this is something different. No, I've heard of it because people do say, "Oh man, you thought Watership Down was brutal." Woof. Well, it's still brutal, but this is also pretty brutal. And I haven't seen it. I should, because I hate to say it, especially like 80s animated films that have like a real, pardon the pun, bite to it. I do usually enjoy because they feel very genuine and authentic when they do it. It doesn't feel forced. So I'll check that out. I'll save that one.
Robbie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Crazy Frog?
Look that up. Sorry, I'm looking up a lot today.
It's all right. You're good, Doug.
Crazy
How dare you not
Frog.
know of everything all the time?
Oh, this is the
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I've only seen, if that's it, if it's just the music video, then cute. I thought it was pretty neat when I found out that was the Robin Hood song. It was like right in front of all of us. It's like, oh yeah. But yeah, if we're just going by the music video, yeah, that was cute. I liked it. I haven't seen anything else if he's done, or it's whatever has done more. But yeah, the music video I remember being cute.
Lesser Sharks, thank you for the $2 super chat. Fandom Theorist, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, would you ever consider going to the Colorado Springs Comic Con? Also, what would it take for you to review the My Little Pony G4 movie?
I have gone to that con before. It was a lot of fun. It was really, really cool. Yeah, if you want to see us back, say, hey, we want to see him back. Maybe they'll have us back. And I'm assuming the G4 is like the Friendship is Magic one. Is that
I have no
right?
idea.
Well, I guess I should see. G4. Let's see what that is. Yes, it is. Okay. Probably not, because I know the following that has. I know, and I've seen a little bit of the show. It's fine. It's just not my thing. And I know if I was going to do the movie, I should really know about the show. There's some things where I feel like I can go in a little blind, but I'm not doing that as much. I feel like I should have more an idea about it, especially if I'm releasing to the internet where a lot of people have seen this and have their opinions and everything, and are very passionate about it. So probably not, but not because I hate My Little Pony or anything, just because I never watched much of the show, and I feel like I should if I'm going to do the movie.
Lesser Sharks, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever review Basketball?
Maybe, I gotta see the whole thing again because that's one of those I just kept hearing back and forth for years and years. It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, it's both. I remember seeing it years ago, and I think I remember thinking that yeah, some of this works, some of it doesn't, and I haven't seen it since. So maybe it would be interesting to check it out again. Put it down as a possibility.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. If this is too personal a question and you don't want to share, then please don't answer. But since we're reaching Pride Month, do either of you identify as a part of the LGBTQIA community? And if that's too personal, what would be your favorite queer-themed movie? Mine would be the Birdcage remake.
Queer theme movie. I'm straight.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying that. In terms of man, that's I'd have to again. That's another one I have to look up because I mean, like before there were so few, and now there's like a ton. Because queer movies, I guess I type in. Uh, I feel like it'd be something animated, but yeah, weirdly nothing
Hmm.
animated is coming up here. Let's say queer animated movies. I just this
Chat said Brokeback Mountain.
there there is one that popped in my head, but I'm like, I sometimes people disagree with me. I don't know. I think Luca kind of is, honestly.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of people that disagree with me on that. It's like, it's fair. Um, but yeah, boy, I'm not I guess everything everywhere all at once is on there. I guess that counts. But I feel like there's a more obvious one and I'm missing it. Bottoms was pretty fun. But yeah, I don't know what like my favorite one would be. Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
figure one out before Pride Month.
Yeah, yeah, well, maybe I will.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. As which character do you think Walton Goggins gives the better performance? Cecil from Invincible or the Ghoul from Fallout?
Uh oh, I didn't know he played that. Who did he play in Invincible again?
Cecil, the head of the organization.
Oh, okay. Probably Fallout, but yeah, I'll say Fallout. If anything, just because you have a face to go with the well, most of a face.
Deshaun, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, would you do Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day for an NC or Disney December?
I think I have it on the list for a Disney December. I've never seen it, but I've always been a little curious to check it out because I remember the book.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. George Clooney's surprise appearance at the end of the Flash movie, I thought was a fun tease that Clooney did more studying of the Batman character. I feel like he learned from his mistakes and from Batman and Robin.
Oh, he made fun of that pretty quick. Like maybe a year after the movie came out, he was making jokes about it. So he seems to have a good sense of humor. But I mean, he seems like a guy who has a pretty good sense of humor anyway. He's one of the guys that threw a lot of money at South Park to get more people looking at it.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $5 super chat. I recently realized that Whoville existing on a snowflake in Jim Carrey's Grinch movie might have been a nod to Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, there's no might about it. It absolutely is. Yeah, no, I like that. That's cute. I like because, you know, or if you didn't know that, you could just see like, oh, it's just a cute little thing. It exists on Snowflake, whatever. It's just a fun little intro. But it's like, no, I like it actually is Snowflake because it ties into that.
Chan the Man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Just wanted to take the chance to say thank you for all the years of awesome content. Truly one of the YouTube greats. Much love from Hawaii.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so kind for you to say. Thank you.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. Potato Head Fan, thank you for the $20 super chat. Your
Thank you.
Cat in the Hat review is gold. And your end monologue, beautiful. My question is a top 10 favorite cliches?
I feel like I did that. Actually, I think I did as the NC. I think number one was just slow motion. That was one of them. And one of the things I found out, I was thinking about, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good point. Robert Rodriguez was on Joe Rogan, and he said, "Is it true you invented the walking away from the explosion?" I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I never saw that before, Desperado. That's the first time I saw it. So I'm like, holy smokes, I think he invented that. Like, that was so cool.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, in Back to the Future movies, what's your favorite moment between Marty and Doc? Goodness gracious. It's been so long since I've sat down and watched them and they all kind of moosh together for me. I really don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
Boy, I
I mean,
never
like, they
heard. No,
don't.
you know what? That's not surprising because they repeat so much of the same stuff the more I think
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
there's
Why would
some
that be surprising?
similar beats for sure.
There's a lot. No, definitely. No, that's totally a fair point. When I was like, what? It's like, oh, wait. No, yeah, because they literally do half the movie every single time.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you think in I'm Legend, do you prefer the director's cut where Will Smith lives, or do you prefer the theatrical cut?
Uh, if I recall, both kind of don't really get the idea of the story. And that could have been a studio thing. I don't know, but the idea is that humanity's done. Now we're the virus. We're the outsiders. We're the thing that's infecting the way the world is. And I think that's a more compelling idea. And in both versions, I think, humanity gets the cure and it's like, okay, we're going to come back, kind of thing. And I'm just like, I just don't think that's the idea of the story. If I'm remembering it correctly. Like I said, I thought that happened in both endings, but I could be wrong.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Another Nick movie to review, Nacho Libre with Jack Black. Jared Hess, who directed both Napoleon Dynamite and a Minecraft movie, also did that one.
Yeah, I don't get into his movies. Like, I can't say they're bad. Well, okay, Minecraft I can say is bad, but they just don't grab me that much. I get why they have a following, and I respect that he has a very clear style and everything, but it's just not one that really grabs me. So probably not.
Luigi, thank you for the 100 NOK through Super Chat. Is it fair to assume if Anne Frank had commentary on internet, it would sound like this? I truly believe people are good at heart, but man, the comments are weird. Yep.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, guys. Doug, gotta know, based on today's review, top 3 favorite Steve Carell film roles.
Little Miss Sunshine would definitely be on there. See, a lot of his good stuff. I'm thinking more is from TV. That's another one where I probably have to look up. Because he is one of those guys. I feel bad because I do like him, but when he kind of Jim Carrey's it a little bit too. When he gets like the emotional moments, it's like, whoa, we're gonna have an emotional moment. Like it's just very, very obvious. I did kind of like him in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I thought that was pretty fun. Yeah, man, looking at all these other ones here. Yeah, it's mostly TV that I remember him being really good in. Yeah, so I guess Date Night. Remember him being very funny in that.
James, thank you for the $20 super chat. Doug, I hope you understand I wasn't wanting to censor you or limit your free speech with my question last week regarding older videos. I just wanted to put out there. Also, I have seen the cartoon intros by Whoopi and Leonard.
Oh yeah, that's fine. No, it's really okay. No, and these are things that should be discussed. There's always kind of a thing where with anything that's taboo or old or new or whatever, there's a sense of like, well, you should just know kind of thing. It's like, no, we should always be able to explain either ourselves or why we think something doesn't work or shouldn't be talked about. But there's just kind of a thing where like, even talking about it is too far. And I'm like, I don't think it is. We should be able to communicate things to people. I mean, there's just people that are going to see something different. Sometimes I see something different. I think the ability to communicate is very important. So yeah, no. I didn't take that the wrong way at all.
Sorry, chat. I thought I had muted my microphone and I had not. Doug didn't hear me cough, but you all did.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
I had a very serious answer there. I can't repeat it. I can't repeat it. That's it.
I realized after the fact that the hotkey that I have to mute my mic did not mute it for chat. So sorry about that, chat.
Well, you got the general gist, I'm sure. Unless it went on the whole.
It did not. Cypher, thank you for the 500 bits. Happy Batmay, everybody.
Yes. Keep an eye out in June. There's no Batman, but there is going to be a lot of Walter.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite acting scene of all time? For me, it's
Oh,
Denzel's ending speech in Training Day.
that's a good bit. Man, favorite. Maybe it's a like a toss up between two that are coming to mind. One is Atticus Finch's speech, closing argument, I should say, I guess, in Kill a Mockingbird. He's just so chillingly good. Um, and another, it's gonna sound weird. In the George C. Scott Christmas Carol, there's just a scene always gets me. Where I don't think it's a spoiler to say, he turns good at the end, and he's going to show up to the party and of his nephew, and he's already playing it so well. But then I think the fiance, who he just dismissed and everything, just said, by him coming there, it just, you've made us so happy. He just gives this look like, have I? Like, he just never heard that before. And it's not a close up. There's no sentimental music or anything. It's just a little bit of acting he does there. I think immediately he says something like, God forgive all the time I've wasted not being here, something like that. But just that little moment of, have I? Like, just wow. Like, you can tell he's never heard that, but he's never made somebody happy just by showing up. And that's such an amazing moment for me.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. Patty P, thank you for the €10 super chat. I love the Nolan Batman films, but I think Batman Begins would be better if Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow was the main villain instead of focusing on the far more boring Ra's al Ghul portrayal. Thoughts? This is where I can speak.
I mean, I want more Scarecrow in the movies in general.
Yeah.
What they do with him is kind of clever, in kind of grounding the character with Ra's al Ghul, and trying to ground him a little bit. Is he immortal? Is he okay? Like the way they work with that is pretty clever. But yeah, bare minimum, Scarecrow should have gotten an entire movie as a villain, or at least the main villain. I agree on that.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which comeback story touched you more? Though to me, they're both amazing. Brendan Fraser or Ke Huy Quan?
Uh, Ke Huy Quan was probably more unexpected.
Yeah.
Because he really did. I mean, you can say he disappeared. I mean, he was still acting, but like, if you said Brendan Fraser, everybody knows that name. Not everybody knew his name. So the fact that he came back and he did it his way, you know what I mean? Such a distinct, unique way to do it. But in terms of what one do I connect to a little bit more, probably Brendan Fraser, just because I saw a little bit more of it, not just with like stuff like The Whale, but with Doom Patrol. I thought he just did such a good job without showing his face most of the time. I just thought that was so impressive, and how could he make the F word that funny that many times? I was just so blown away by all that. But both are wonderful, and yeah, it is great to see stuff like that happen.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some Boy Meets World moments that made you burst out laughing?
The one, and it's so stupid. There's just one where the brother keeps hiding in different places, and one is just he's in a coffee shop and he's dressed as a tree. And I mean, it's not even a good tree. It's like a really, really lame, obvious tree. And he just walks over, covering his face with a leaf. It just slowly walks over, and he just moves it, like revealing it was him the whole time. And he doesn't have to say anything; he just walks up to, and that just killed me. The episode that was a parody of like murder mysteries or horror films, I should say, a lot of that really, really got me too. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really funny moments.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is one show both of you would love to have had just one more season to wrap things up, and you can't say Firefly? But I want to say Firefly.
I mean, I mentioned two of them right here, Andor and Arcane. I would have liked one more season of.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, what's a movie that you really enjoyed when it first came out, but then over time you just hated or disliked? I wouldn't say I hated or ended up totally disliking this, but when the Marvels first came out, I was like strong-armed, like, no, the Marvels is good. You guys just don't understand. It's actually really, really good. That I watched it a couple more times and I was like, maybe it's not really good,
Kamala Khan
but
is just so charming.
she's so charming, darn it. So I don't hate it, but I definitely came out strong, like pro that movie when it first came out.
Mhm.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In South Park, what do you think of Eric Cartman? I keep recommending post COVID is because someone's fate is very sad.
um, well, I think I saw that one. I thought I did. If I'm thinking of the right episode, or episodes, I should say. I mean, he's great. Yeah, as long as you know, he's supposed to not be liked. There are some characters I feel like it's spelled out, but some people I guess sometimes still misinterpret stuff. I feel like most people know that with him, but yeah, no, he's a wonderful, terrible character. Just how selfish and awfully. My favorite thing, because I feel like I've seen this happen, is when they go into the psychology of him and he makes up a lie about something and he says, no, really, this happened. And he just goes, you know what? I believe you believe it because you are so convinced that you are right. And you have to lie to yourself that you have convinced yourself that if you think back in your memory, you probably see it this way. And he does, and he actually does see it that way. And I'm just like, I swear I've seen that happen with people. Like, that is definitely a thing. They really do believe their own lie.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Possible Disney Semper for Sister Act 2 or Good Morning Vietnam. They're both Touchstone Productions.
I always have Sister Act 2 on the list. Maybe I'll get to it this year. There's a fascinating resurgence that happened with it that I found really interesting. Because I remember the movie being bad, like really bad. But I guess it has a following in terms of the music. So I do want to return to it and see if that. Like I remember the music being good. But the fact that it got a following with that is really interesting. So I do want to see it again for that. And yeah, maybe I'll do Good Morning Vietnam at some point.
Sean, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, so Wish has developed a cult fandom that's based around the original script, where the star is a star prince love interest for Asha, and Magnifico and Amaya are an evil power couple. Could this version of Wish be revived as a Broadway musical like Newsies?
See that? I mean,
That could
like,
work.
yeah, those are two elements, though. There's a lot of other stuff about it that didn't work that I think you would have to fix. But no, I've seen like fan edits, fan art, fan video, whatever, of like the star being like whatever the star prince or whatever, and it definitely looks more interesting to me. But again, I'm not gonna pretend that would automatically save it. There's still other issues, but no, I think the idea of like a Broadway play, but again, the movie did so bad. I mean, like when people go see it, because they would just think, oh, that bad movie. I don't want to see that. It would literally have to be the cult following that all goes to see it, I think.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I understand your reasons for not liking Rapunzel's father, but I understand his reasons to an extent because he lost his daughter for 18 years and he doesn't want to lose her again.
It wasn't that as much as, I mean, I had an issue with that too, but as much as the reason he was covering up everything else, just the more and more they revealed about it, just the more dumb he sounded. Like, well, what did you think was gonna happen? How did you think this was gonna turn out? Yeah, so it was like that on top of all those other things.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're going to hate me for this, Doug. How would you rank Don Bluth's three main films? Secret of Nim, American Tail, Land Before Time.
Actually, not that hard. Secret Nim. Let me see. American Tail, then Land Before Time. If Land Before Time was a little longer, maybe I put it above American Tail. But yeah, but those two are kind of close. But Secret Nim, I still think is like light years beyond them, and I like those other two movies a lot.
Danny, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hello, Doug and Heather.
Ew.
Thank you for all the entertainment you've given me over the years. Would you review 2005's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? It takes everything funny and clever about the book and ruins it.
I can't go that far. I didn't think the movie worked, and I am a big fan of the books, but I thought for trying to make a cinematic version of it that could appeal to, a broad audience, I thought was a valiant attempt, but no, it very clearly does not work. They should have leaned more into uh, what made the book unique, and probably like if people don't get on board, screw them. This is for the fans. This really is something where it's like they should have just done it for the fans, kind of thing, because I don't think it was going to win everybody over regardless. I don't know if there's a way you can do that that would result in a big hit. Um, but with that said, it does ruin some jokes. You're right. Maybe I do feel like I would just keep comparing it to the book over and over, and that would just take up so much time. So we'll see. It would be interesting to talk about, but man, it would take forever. I feel like.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. And Dexter's Laboratory, what do you think of the relationship between Dexter and Dee Dee?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I've seen. I mean, I have a sibling. I know a lot of times we're like that. I feel like so I like the fact too. I feel like whenever I see a younger brother, older sister team up, it's usually the bratty younger brother picking on the older sister. And I like the age gap isn't too crazy, but I like it's more her picking on him. Like he's the smarter one and she's the one that's happy and having fun, and stuff like that. That's kind of a nice flip. So yeah, no, but again, you believe them as siblings. You believe they wouldn't do anything too terrible, to each other. They still love each other as siblings. So, yeah, no, I like it.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, one of my favorite interviews is your one on Double Toasted. Was just wondering, how did they come in contact with you, and were you familiar with Double Toasted before?
Yeah, a little bit. And Brad knew them and said, he's gone on there before. Brad Jones went on there before. So, yeah, he recommended me to him.
Magic Window, thank you for the $20 super chat.
Thank
So, for
you.
your review of The Wall, a lot of criticism about it was that people thought you didn't get it and didn't see why you wouldn't do such a big production for a film you thought was actually all right. How would you respond?
I think it's very clear I didn't get across what I had in mind, but part of that was also I was experimenting probably too much to a point where again, I had people come up to me and be like, so why'd you hate The Wall? It's like I look at the camera and I say I like it. But the main thing I was trying to do was because I do like that movie and I grew up with it and I mean, look at half this. That's from Pink Floyd, for God's sake. The coyote with the sheepdog there. But yeah, it's something where I wanted to kind of capture that young, optimistic, hopeful, kind of look on the world. We're watching The Wall and being like, wow, this speaks to me, versus kind of the older, cynical adult part where some of the magic has died a little bit. Watching that movie, everything's so black and white and so obvious. It's literally a cartoon, blah, blah, blah. And try to merge them together and kind of have them fighting each other. And I think I put too much focus on that as opposed to talking about the technical side and what it's actually saying and going more for just what the emotional sides of this younger, mindset and this older mindset are looking at to a point where I don't even think that's what people see I'm doing, So, but you learn from it, you live with it, these moments are going to happen and there's a reason I haven't done something like that again. So, yeah, no, it's, I definitely don't believe in like going back and erasing it, pretending it didn't exist or anything. It's like, leave it up there, learn from your mistakes, and, just move on from there.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. In The Simpsons, what do you think of Principal Skinner? Still to this day, whenever I feel like I have an unpopular opinion on something, I always say to myself, no, it's the children who are wrong.
Boy, it's funny. He's a good character, and I feel like somewhere he got really good. I think the one where Bart gets him fired, and they actually, Bart and Skinner kind of find they miss each other and they almost need each other, even though they drove each other crazy. Like that dichotomy was so interesting. And sometimes they would play off of that a little bit. And then I feel like everyone can point to the episode where it went downhill for him, the one with the imposter. And just after that, the character never quite recovered. So that's kind of a shame. But yeah, well, when he was at his best, he actually was one of the better characters on the show.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's so appealing the High Evolutionary from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as a villain is that he's so unapologetically cruel and evil you love hating him so much.
That part is fine. It's the yelling that drove me insane. Just everything he yelled, and I just didn't follow. Somebody who is that cruel, and he's doing it for the sense of like, just experimenting and finding out. So I can see him being angry if something, failed. But when that many things has to have failed at that point, I feel like if they played him more cold and calculate a little bit more, maybe like how Ego was in the second one, the Kurt Russell character. In fact, he's almost kind of a likable guy. Wouldn't have been so much more interesting. I just feel like we've gotten sucked into that much more. But no, the idea is everything he's doing, I think, makes for a great villain. I just don't like the direction they steered the performance. I'm listening. I'm just letting chap on that here.
Okay. Strider for Life, thank you for the 500 bits. I've recently seen this documentary about these ancient aliens called the Anunnaki, aliens that came to Earth a millennia ago and are responsible for creating life on our planet. I'm surprised no one thought to make a movie about them coming back to Earth in modern times. Would have made a good sci-fi film.
I mean, I feel like that's been tapped into. There's not that specific name, but that's been tapped into. I think 2001 taps into that. I think War of the Worlds taps into that. You could argue Crystal Skull taps into that. Yeah, I don't know.
Jellyman, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you do a review on 2009 animated film Redline?
Boy, why is that not ringing a bell? Let me see.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
A Redline movie. Oh, is that anime?
Yeah, it said animated film.
Oh, well, anime.
No.
Well, wait, is it? What? I've never heard of this. It looks interesting. It is a Japanese film. Okay. That looks good. The style looks cool. I'll try to check it out.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you've seen Boy Meets World, but have you seen the movie Boy Kills World? Also, Michael B. Jordan kind of looks like Marlon Wayans to me.
Maybe if you squish his face, you squish Wayne's face a little bit. Because at first I'm like, what? And then I'm like, well, if you do that, maybe a little bit. And no, I know what that movie is that you're talking about. I heard it's really good. I haven't had a chance to watch it though.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Steven Universe, what do you think of Steven's mother, Rose?
I think she's a really good character. So the character is good. What makes her the most fascinating, though, is the choice that she makes, to become Steven. I think that's so interesting. And why would she do? And they do. I mean, practically the whole show, they talk about why she did that, and even what is Steven. Is it her? Is it not her? Is it kind of parts of her? Whatever. And all that I think is so fascinating. And I think you can read a lot into. It's like, how much of like a parent, especially a mother, is passed on, to the child, and how much. I don't know. There's a lot you can read into that. If you took that out, I think the character would be fine. I think she'd be, a nice character, just sort of, very pleasant, nice, kind, gentle, all that stuff. But can also kick ass and everything. But that element, I think, really made her stand out more and made her, in some respects, kind of the focus of the whole show. Because again, they are kind of the same.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. In War of the Roses, whose side are you on more, Oliver's or Barbara's?
See, this is what they want you to do. This is what the movie, not what the movie wants you to do, but what the characters want you to do. And they both make good arguments. I'll say this: when I was younger, I think I was more on his side because he was so. See, it's like, why we couldn't make this work? We don't hate each other. Why can't we make this work? He still loves her. And I think there's a part of me that was more sympathetic to that, but she just didn't love him. And she's like, this is just who I am. It's not even that I hate you. I just don't love you. And that's such a hard pill to swallow, I think, for a marriage like that and for characters like that. So there isn't one I think I side with more. But when I was younger, I do remember being a little bit more sympathetic to him. But as I got older, I'm like, wait, no, that's, again, she doesn't love him. He should just accept that, and let it go.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on season 1 of Wednesday? Also on Emma Myers as both that show as Enid and in a Minecraft movie as Natalie. Personally, I think she's great in both.
I'd have to go back and remember who that character is, but in the show, so how do I put it? It's not my type of show.
It's mine.
But no, that is not my type of show. There are a lot of things I enjoy about it. Let me put it this way: for a show that's not my type of show, I did watch the whole thing. And I watched it because I did like the acting. I like all the actors. I like a lot of the style. Some of the humor was very funny. Um, but yes, if I mean, the idea of the Adams family is that you don't do this type of story. It doesn't make sense to do it with the Adams family because you can kill them and they come right back and everything. The movies knew that and had fun with it. The show did, the cartoon, all that. Um, but I also know this is a style, this is a genre, this is Riverdale where you add these, Cobra Kai, all these, you add these purposefully complicated plots that don't make any sense and lean heavily on the CW like teen drama and everything. And it's meant to be kitschy. And I get that. It's just not my type of kitschy. But with that said, yeah, I probably will watch season two just because I do like all the things I mentioned before.
Movie lover, thank you for the 500 bits. So I recently found out there's going to be another live action He-Man film starring Jared Leto as Skeletor. Do you think he'll do better than Frank Langella?
Oh, I'm just gonna call it no. Franklin Joe is great in that. That's one of his favorite performance. You have to love that performance just because this actor who played Nixon, who played Dracula, who played all these iconic roles, is like, oh, Skeletor, yeah, like top 3 favorite. Like you just have to respect him for that. You have to respect everything about him for that.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. What did you both think of Conclave?
I didn't see it.
It's
Yeah,
good. It's very
I
good.
I should. I guess I should. I don't know. I guess it's interesting. It just doesn't leap out to me like you got to see this kind of thing. I feel like I'd just be like, neat, But maybe I would. Maybe I watch and see what everybody's talking about. So I should give it a chance.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Good Burger 2 yet? Because I would like to see your opinion on it compared to the first one.
No, I probably shouldn't. Honestly, I haven't seen it, but I get the feeling I would like it. It seems very self-aware, and it's at a point where whether it made a good movie or a bad movie, you could say it's intentional. So I should probably check it out at some point.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. How would you rank these comedians? Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell, Steve Carell.
Uh, Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, Will Ferrell. Jim Carrey and Steve Carell are kind of close. I feel like when Steve Carell is at his best, he is better than Jim Carrey when I think of like combining the comedy and the drama. But Jim Carrey has a more solid body of work, which is not to say he doesn't have a lot of stinkers. He totally does. But yeah, that's probably the way I would rate him.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Who's a better twist villain, Stinky Pete or Lotso?
Why am I forgetting who? Oh, Stinky Pete, because that was a legit surprise, and I feel like Lotso was just Stinky Pete again, like we saw that. So yeah, definitely him.
CCella, thank you for the $2 super chat. The Ultimate Frozen fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. I realized you said B movie with dinosaurs, but sorry, I have to do this. Would a B movie with dinosaurs have dinosaur puns every 5 minutes?
I don't know. No, no. Screwed it up. Doesn't matter. It's a terrible joke anyway. We'll do it live.
Luigi, thank you for the 100 NOK through super chat. I imagine Ask That Guy with the Glasses is locked somewhere in a closet replaced with Doug Streamer instead.
Well, what did we do? We did something. I think we killed him off. And then, like, he makes another appearance in, like, one of the DVDs we have where he meets up with Melvin, brother of the Joker. So we did give him, like, one last episode, I think, on the DVDs.
We are going to have to pick up the pace here a bit.
Gotcha.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Had animated feature existed before, what would have won in 1999? Ants, A Bug's Life, or Mulan?
Probably A Bug's Life. Not that it's the best, but it probably would win.
And in 98, The Prince of Egypt or Rugrats movie?
Probably Prince of Egypt.
AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. Titanic won the Oscar for Best Picture and the Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Movie. It beat Liar Liar, Men in Black, and Batman and Robin for the latter.
Batman and Robin. Whew! Man, it's quite a category.
Santiago, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Doug, Heather, and chat. Good eve. I want to ask if you saw Final Destination 6, and if not, are you planning to since it was the last role of Tony Todd?
I might just for that. When I hear it's good, but I've only seen the first two movies, so maybe I'll just stream it.
Jay Stahl, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, what's your biggest movie theater pet peeve, and does it happen often?
How many trailers there are at the beginning?
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £5 super chat. Imagine you're given control of a major movie studio and free reign to make any movie that you can think of. What kind of movie would you make?
I one of these days I'll make a video on it, but I always wanted to do a live action version of The Mask based on the comic, like the gory version. I think that'd be very interesting.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. One year there wasn't a Kids' Choice Award since 1987 was 1993. What wins favorite movie? Batman Returns, Home Alone 2, or Wayne's World?
Probably Home Alone 2. The kids would like that.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, did both of you ever know that there was an animated Jumanji series that has 3 seasons, good animation for the 90s, and Tim Curry?
Yeah, I heard it's good. If you show me a picture of it, I would recognize it, but I haven't really seen that much of the show.
Stupid people, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug, I got an interesting one. Keep one, delete one. Jim Carrey's filmography or Adam Sandler's filmography?
I probably hold on to Jim Carrey's, but I like them both.
Jordan, thank you for the $20 super chat. Love you, Doug. What are your thoughts on the Red Letter Media channel?
Oh, I like them. I'm glad they're really getting more attention. They always got attention, but there was a time early on where it's like, man, how is every video not getting like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hits? And now they are. They can review like, I don't know, RoboCop the cartoon show or something, it'll like break a million, which is like fantastic. I'm glad that audience like finally caught up to them because they really do deserve it.
PDX, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and would you ever do a review of first viewing on it? Ridiculous concept that is sort of fun.
I heard it was boring. I thought it sounded cool and everyone said it was pretty dull, but I never did see it, so I probably should.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Gontu, not being in Lilo and Stitch 2025, as it turns out, reportedly Cobra's gonna end up filling that role in the film instead, it seems.
I hope they don't make him like the bad guy, but I wasn't heartbroken when I heard. I mean, he's fine, but he's not essential. We'll see. We'll see what they do with it.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. Lately, I've wanted to look up more great theater plays. Do either of you have any favorites that you would recommend? As of now, my 2 favorite plays are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead and Death of a Salesman. Death of a Salesman is classic.
And I still haven't seen it.
So it's so
I
good
know,
as
it's
a
like
stage production.
Yeah, it's like the stage show. Noises Off is pretty fun, but you gotta see a really good version of it because I have seen some lame ones where the timing's off in the acting. So see a really good production of that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Back to the Future Part 3, when Doc is reluctant about leaving Clara and Marty asks if they can just bring Clara with them, I think really shows their relationship and that Marty cares about Doc's happiness. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nothing too much else to say. Just, yeah.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $10 super chat. Whenever someone tells me that Kristen Stewart can't act, I point them to a film she did called Speak that I watched in junior high before Twilight even existed.
Well, I mean, just look at later movies. She's fantastic in Spencer. I feel like all those people have really evolved beyond that Twilight bubble, and they've done really good work.
Mr. Evolution, thank you for the $5 super chat. How would you rank each Stranger Things season, and would you do a Doug review episode on them?
1, 2, 4, 3. I think sounds good. No, I don't know if I do a Doug vlog on him.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Always wanted to see Batman Superman movie World's Finest get an NC to display how it did things way better than Batman v Superman, just under an hour.
That'd be an idea. How about that as a possibility? It's not a bad idea.
Hyperdevil Fangirl Boner, thank you for the 55-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Rick and Morty Season 8 premieres this weekend. Yay, speaking of, some of the songs used in certain episodes were written specifically for the show. Which of these three do you like the most? 1, Don't Look Back, Season 4 finale. 2, Borrowed Time, Part 1 of Season 5 finale. Or 3, the cover of the Oasis song Live Forever, Season 7, Episode 4, aka the Spaghetti episode.
I kind of remember the others I don't remember that well, but I can't remember the Live Forever one. So I guess I'll go with that.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm going to Disney World next week and we are going to all 4 parks. I'm so excited. Do you have any recommendations for rides/attractions to check out? Haunted Mansion for sure.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion. My wife, wait, is it Disney World? No, Disneyland has the Indiana Jones ride. Yeah, I hear the Avatar one is fantastic. But yeah, Haunted Mansion's my personal favorite.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Also, did you have any Disney World food recommendations?
I
The
remember
Satuli Canteen is actually which is the Avatar one, is actually some of the best food on campus. It's so good.
a lot of stuff at the Epcot, the Nations of the World, is pretty good. There's a fun little wine sipping thing they had when we were there. I don't know if they still do, but that was kind of cool. I remember the French restaurant. It wasn't that bad. Artist Point. It's at one of the resorts. That was very, very good.
Griffin, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thoughts on Bob Dylan as a musician? Favorite song by him? Thoughts on A Complete Unknown?
I haven't seen A Complete Unknown, but I hear it's good. Favorite Bob Dylan song? Boy, I don't know. That's another one where he's done so much. I mean, I like his stuff better when he was younger, certainly. But that's another one where he's done so much. I kind of gotta just look them up, see how Bob Dylan songs. How about that? He did "Blowin' in the Wind." Really? I didn't know that. Tambourine Man. Yeah, that one's pretty great.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. I remember you talked about the first 2 seasons. Now that it's over, when are you going to review the entire 6 seasons of Cobra Kai?
I haven't watched the last season. I just lost interest. I just had somebody tell me what happened. I'm like, okay, I'm happy just hearing about it. It just really lost me. I didn't see the last 2 seasons, I think.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 500 bits. Here's a plot I thought of for an Anunnaki movie. Some have come to Earth to protect humans from others who want to destroy us because they think we're a failed experiment.
Possible idea.
Movie Lover, thank you for the 500 bits. Here's an interesting fact for a future review. Chicken Run helped in the creation of the Best Animated Feature category at the Oscars after it failed to be nominated for Best Picture.
That's weird. Best Picture? I like that movie fine, but Best Picture? That is interesting, though.
Movie Lover, thank you for the 500 bits. Here's an interesting fact for oh, I just read that. Sorry. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, curious, since Fortnite has returned to mobile, will you play it on mobile or still on gaming systems?
Probably just gaming system. Not that I play it that much anyway.
Future Movie Actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, you misread my question. All 5 of those movies were 1998 to be recognized in 99. So, Ants, Bugs Life, Mulan, Prince of Egypt, or Rugrats movie, which one is winning?
Gotcha.
Sorry.
My guess would be Prince of Egypt, I guess.
All right, cool. And we caught up, so I can go back to some other questions and check out chat over here.
All right.
Master Mario wants to know, did you ever get detention, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah. I'll say this. I tried not to. Whenever I got detention, it was just like, ugh. Like, I failed myself. I got caught, kind of thing. Because I was pretty good at not getting caught. I was pretty good at skipping classes and writing myself notes and stuff like that. I was pretty sneaky.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. The island at the top of the world, NC or Disney-cember?
I don't think I know that one. I'll try to check it out.
Ramirez over on Twitch says, who do you prefer, Jim Carrey or Tim Curry?
Tim Curry, I gotta.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. Be kind, rewind for NC. It started a phenomenon.
What's the phenomenon? What? Just like remaking movies with like video cameras? Is that it? I'll look it up. Man, maybe there is something there.
July Media says yin yang yo for Disney December or an NC review. A lot of episodes are on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet, not pressuring you. This and JetX 2004 to 2009 need more attention.
Yeah, I never even heard of that one. I'll try to check it out.
Pro Gamer says, "Welp, I've officially seen what? Sorry. I've officially seen every DreamWorks movie ever, I think is what they were trying to say, and I can now say with confidence that the absolute best is Kung Fu Panda 2 and the absolute worst is Spirit Untamed."
Oh, wait. Oh, like the sequel to Spirit? Maybe that's what they're talking
I'm
about.
assuming.
That's probably what it's called. You're probably right.
Kelly wants to know, have you ever seen a boring Tim Curry performance?
Boy, it must be in there somewhere.
It's gotta
Uh,
exist, right?
I mean, it's gotta, just the law of averages. Have I seen it though? I don't think I have.
Eccentric gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. The Lego Batman movie for NC. Best Bat movie ever.
I was talking about maybe doing a video about like the Lego movie, but I have to see that Ninjago one. I haven't seen that one, so maybe I will.
CCella, thank you for the $2 super chat. Favorite song in Sinners?
Man, let's see. I kind of like the one he's playing in the car, the first one you hear. And I do like the one. It's funny. I can't remember like how it goes. I just remember getting really sucked into it. The one where it does show all the different time periods and artists and stuff like that. Just for the orchestrations of it, I think that really was really cool.
Charlie wants to know, with all the Goofy movie love and attention this year, is there a chance for an NC review of an extremely goofy movie?
I did Disney December. I think that's pretty good. I am gonna do the documentary that came out about it, though, because I think there's some cool stuff to say about it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you hate school or did you like some parts of it?
I Well, first of all, it depends where I was because we moved around a lot. Some schools I got along really great, others I didn't. I feel like I liked as an idea. I liked school up to high school, and then I'm like, why the hell am I here? I am not going to use this. So so I got along with kids okay, but as I said, just everything was like, I want to get out. Here. I want to do other stuff. I want to get out. I was just so impatient. I didn't know why it was there. I mean, I graduated. I got through it, but yeah, under protest.
TJ, thank you for the $5 super chat. No message, just the super chat. Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ever going to give Disney's Dinosaur a full length NC since it has a huger cult following? Plus, in my opinion, the CGI really holds up.
I didn't know it had a following. That's almost cementing. Then I shouldn't do it because I didn't like the movie. I didn't hate it. I just found it very kind of dull and underwhelming. But it's not awful. I'll put it down as a possibility.
TJ, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, been a big fan for years and just wanted to say thank you for all the joy given over the years and look forward to many more.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words.
Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ever going to do a top 11 worst villain songs? If so, please put the villain song from Home on the Range on the list.
Man, I mean, there's got to be so many bad ones. What would even qualify just in movies or Disney films? I mean, you'd have to be really specific about that. Either way, I don't think I'm qualified because I think I only like seeking out the bad ones. I don't remember, or I like seeking out the good ones. I don't remember the bad ones because they're bad.
Okay, great. And that brings us right to 8 o'clock
Alrighty.
here. So perfect timing. Thank you all so much as usual for joining us here today. We appreciate it. We couldn't do this stream without you and the questions that you provide. So thank you for being here. We do have content over on Twitch 5 days a week. So if you want to head over there, Malcolm will be playing some games tomorrow, Thursday, and Doug will be back on Friday with more Resident Evil 2. He is
Starting
playing
Claire's story, yeah.
Exactly. I was just going to say he is playing Claire's story. So we will be starting that on Friday. So come back, both YouTube and Twitch will be here ready to see Doug grow and solve puzzles. Okay.
And maybe not waste as much ammo. I can't guarantee you that. In fact, I can almost promise it's not going to happen, but maybe.
Maybe. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your evening and we will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.